definitely has the pre-igniter upgrade for the Hellions as this one takes off to see what is going on at the Xel'Naga Watchtower. As well as this one, little sneaky changeling here just kind of hanging out. Caught that Hellion off guard, but he feels embarrassed. So, more mutas kind of hanging out here. Actually, the same mutas as they've been there for like 5 minutes, but that's okay because they're hanging out all lonely on the map. Poor little 6 mutas. As you are going down, I would not advise going down to that Terran base, as you will probably die a very explosive death here. Another expansion being flown over by DeMusliM, looking to further his income as these Zerg upgrades are going up even more. Looks like he's got 1-1 research and 2-2 is on the way. Baneling's being pumped down as well. He is just going full on with the land units, man. And you know, he's got a really good creep super blob here. Stretches pretty much all the way over to his expansion. And that did not last very long whatsoever. Wow. Okay, so 2 Hellions did not like their life very much. They probably saw that poster that came out before the game was released that said, I forgot exactly what it was, but it was like, it showed a Marine jumping out of a plane. It was like, do you hate your life? And yeah, I don't think that, don't know what to say about that poster. But as these mutas are going to come in here, they are going to skim death. Oh, wow, that was super close. They do not know how close they were to dying and falling into that chasm and being electrocuted by the whatever it is that is down there that is electrical charge. I do not know, but that's okay because these mutas are going to harass these Hellions, push them back towards the Thors, which will come back and drive these mutas away. 1 died, 2 died, very horrible bloody deaths. They are retreating in full force, which is a very good move on the Zerg's part. As both players here pretty much now have what I would consider kind of a super base, just kind of one big continuous base here. Not so much for Terran, but that's okay because they don't have the creep to plop everywhere. And as this game progresses, there's going to be more and more macro. Both players just kind of hanging out, baiting each other, biding their time until their forces are strong enough. Wow, that muta just died. Another one died. These guys probably hate their jobs very much right now as they are just being sent to their deaths every 30 seconds. I do not know what they did to deserve that, but a whole boatload of roaches here. Big old roach ball taken to the field along with some roly-poly banelings heading down to the Terran forces. At this point, probably not the best idea to attack, as DiMaga did see that the forces were set up here. So he withdrew the banelings, withdrew the roaches, and he has his forces kind of on different sides of the entryway here. You can see he's got the roaches over here, and he sent the banelings, well, way over here. But he's got some roaches over here too, so he'll probably try to do some sort of flank attack here. And if he's going to do that, he's going to have to do that very soon, because this Terran is going to move up here very quickly. This Overseer almost dead. Will he live? Yes, he does. He escapes over the... Well, I don't know. Maybe he's getting pretty close to death. Okay, Marines falling back decided that it is not worth it to get their shoes dirty all over that creep and the little rock there. And just kidding, they don't care about their shoes getting dirty, as they're going to head all over the place here, scout out what the Zerg player is doing. That poor Marine did not stand a chance. This one up here taking the high ground, keeping an eye on the expansion, seeing if there's anything else hidden up here, as more roaches, more banelings take to the field. Actually, it's probably the same bunch of banelings. But these roaches coming up here from the expansion, more roaches and banelings coming in from the other side, getting a good flank attack. So siege tanks are in position, definitely ripping up a lot of those banelings before they were able to get into the tanks. However, they would not have done a ton of damage. They probably just meant for the Hellions, which were way back here, kept in a good position. So these roaches were able to get a pretty good concave, did a lot of damage, but unfortunately it was not enough to drive back these Terran forces, as they are now pushing down into the expansion, and the Zerg player does not have a whole bunch to reinforce at the moment. However, he is producing a boatload more roaches and some corruptors as well. As the Terran army continues to get upgrades, he is now at 3 armor for his mechanized forces. So the Thors and the tanks will be very strong, and even the Hellions are going to have, you know, that high armor, which will help them live just a little bit longer. Keep buggying out for another minute or two on the game here, as these roaches are going to move down here, get into position, may try to burrow them and pop up in the base. No, they are going to take this Terran force head on, and that is going to be whittled down very quickly. He tried very hard to get in here and do a lot of damage, but unfortunately all these tanks were already in siege mode, so this was not the optimal position for DiMaga to assault. But he was probably hoping to catch them off guard here, as more roaches are being pumped out here. And let's take a look actually at the income as this game has progressed. DeMusliM is sitting at a better position economy-wise, as he does have this expansion just starting out right here. His main is completely mined out. His natural does still have enough minerals to warrant, having all the SCVs here. He also does have this high yield with the planetary fortress, which will prevent it from being attacked with, a small number of forces. Combined with the siege tank, that'll pretty much just be GG if the Zerg player does decide to attack. Corruptor's coming out here because the Terran does not have any anti-air at the moment with these forces, so he will be able to keep an eye on these siege tanks, know exactly where they are and where he should not be attacking at the moment. So Morthor's taken to the field here. Just heard a Nidus Worm coming in at the expansion with these roaches. Orbital Command lifts off. SCVs run to safety. Unfortunately, this one does not get the memo, as he does come back to try to mine just a little bit more. Unfortunately, that does not work out very well for him, as this creep is now spreading all over the place, effectively denying him a re-landing of this expansion for at least a few moments. So, DeMusliM is going to go ahead and take advantage of the situation here, coming in here to burn these drones very quickly. Drones, about half of them die a horrible death before DiMaga is able to get those out. I cannot talk today. So, Queen, realizing that she is low on health, coming back here and hanging out behind the mineral patch, as these Corruptors are running away as well here. So, taking a look at the income after that fight, he did have to pull back those forces, so now DiMaga's income is way diminished compared to DeMusliM, sitting at about 1,700 to 800, which will give him the economic advantage that he needs to really push off and finish these Zerg forces. Roaches coming in here, I'm presuming for a final stand, as this game is looking like it's going to come to a close here. At this point, DiMaga doesn't really have a whole lot that he can do with the forces that he has, although some surprise Brutal Lords with the roaches. This will definitely turn back the Terran forces. Yep, sure enough, they are hightailing it out of there just as fast as you can say willy-nilly. So I promise that's something else I will never say again either. So they are, like I said, definitely in full retreat here. Not enough Vikings to really whittle those forces down, as he does have a good number of Brood Lords. So very good play by DiMaga, getting that tech switch here very quickly at the 11th hour, pushing the Terran back into his base completely. And this factory definitely did something to piss DeMusliM off, as I do not know why he is attacking that. And just kidding, he has decided that half health is good enough for this factory to be at, as he does now kill this Nidus network that was spawned in his base. Good move coming over here, making sure that these roaches don't do any more damage. It looks like they didn't do a whole ton. A couple SCVs out here repairing their brethren SCVs as they kind of go through this little funnel between their missile turret defense here. Those roaches didn't have a chance. So, taking a look at the upgrades again here, we've got 3-2 for the Terran player on the mechanized forces, as he is continuing to produce lots of tanks, lots of Thors, and coming up here with a whole boatload of Vikings. A very good idea to counter the Brood Lords here, as these SCVs... What are you doing? What was that? Oh, those poor guys. Actually, I know what he was doing. He was actually a little bit supply boxed there. You can actually see... What is the key? This shows you how newbie I am. I don't actually know what the supply key is. So, it's A. This replay is brought to you by the letter A. 195 out of 200. That is why he sent those SCVs to die the deaths that they did. That was actually not a very nice thing for him to do, but that's okay, because there are no morals in StarCraft 2. So, rocks dying, Terran moving up, game is progressing, creep splooging everywhere, and the final battle is about to begin as the Broodlings are being shot all over the Terran forces. Hellions doing their best to drive them back. However, the air units are clearly dominating at the moment. However, these Vikings are coming in here, trying to tear apart these air forces as much as they can. They're doing a good job of taking them out. Unfortunately, not enough of them were focusing the Broodlords down. So, really, these Terran forces are going to go unchecked into the Zerg base, as DeMusliM does have the full force of his SCVs up here. I think this is every SCV that he actually has up here, repairing these units, and actually I think they're just kind of repairing each other, but that's okay, because if they're taking the damage, that means something else isn't. So Terran moving up here with the tanks, cutting back just a little bit, but he does have plenty of SCVs up here to repair the tanks. There's the GG from DiMaga, as the Terran does take this game, and I hope you guys enjoyed it very much. I know it was a kind of an intense battle here. Have not seen a lot of Zerg, unfortunately, on YouTube, but I will try to find some more good games, and I will see you guys later.